Okay, so it's been a minute. I found this book off of TikTok, and I got part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is the one I saw first, but I started my book, and I realized I wanted to share a few things from it, because I do feel quite a few things that I've read so far, and so I'm gonna do that. It's all right in front of you. You just won't risk it all for your heart. There's nothing more terrible than wanting somebody you can't have. I couldn't imagine having to let go of someone I wanted to keep so badly. I'm confused if there's anything left to grow, not clear on how you feel, and I'm stuck on feelings that could appear. It's like I'm stuck on something that isn't something. I could be in too deep, but if you think giving this a chance will take a wrong turn, where does that leave me? I just want to give it a try to see where this thing could take us, whether it could make or break us. I want to take the risk. I want to give you all of me, you to fall in love with me. If that isn't worth it, I promise the only sight of me you'll ever see is me walking. I asked to fall in love, and God gave me you. They say you never know what you have until it's gone. Then why, when I am with you, I feel like I have it all? Someone once told me that your first love is nothing but a lesson, and the person who can pick up the pieces and make you fall in love again is a blessing. Someone once told me there's no love like your last, but your first ends up nothing but a laugh. How do you know that the second time around will be your last? There's no warning. But when I asked to fall in love, God gave me you. I couldn't have asked for someone better, because what's better when you have the best? Someone who loves you for everything you are and everything you can be, to help, hold, and be their shoulder to cry on when you're in need. When you're with them, you feel like you have everything. Love is so many things, so many emotions put all into one word. There are not enough words that can explain love. Not many actions can prove. Love is what I feel for you, because you give me every reason to. I don't have it in me to do people how they do me. I'm still trying to understand if that's my biggest strength or my biggest weakness. A relief. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've even thought about my feelings, let alone bothering to write them down. I got so caught up in them, I got lost in them. I never took the time to analyze how I truly felt. I've been going with the flow of things. I've lost my way on my emotional road. Who wouldn't love to wear their heart on their sleeve? I've never sat myself down and thought about how happy I was. I was too busy living in the moment of my happiness. I have waited so long for this moment, to be in this moment. People have dreams and fantasies about being happy, but I am happy with my life decisions, myself, and the one person I don't want to see myself without. Being patient and living in the moment is one of the best things I've ever done. Thinking about everything and figuring out every situation doesn't come out to be the best solution. You stress, you worry, and you end up alone. I took a risk, a huge one, and it turned out to be something unique. Something I probably would never admit or say, because I've done an excellent job hiding my true feelings. but I wouldn't want what I have any other way. There is no label, title, or description to explain what I have with them, but I know I feel so profoundly. I don't understand how I feel, as I shouldn't, because that's when it's real. Sometimes when I sit and think about what is come of us, I'm scared because it could all be in my head, but then I tell myself I can't overanalyze, that I must live in the moment. We may be together, the world may not know what we are, but if I know, nothing else matters. I used to be crazy about finding love. I just love the idea of love, which made me crazy. I would always say how I felt. It was either a relief or a regret. I can't count how many times I was hurt, how I felt, how I let someone hurt me to the point I never thought I could move forward. Things I went through, the memories that I wish would disappear, the time I wasted, along with the times I could never get back. But instead, no matter how long it took, I did what I had to and moved forward. I didn't waste time on one matter if I didn't believe it was worth it. People who have been hurt know how it feels to love someone, no matter how they treated you. I always wondered why that was even allowed. We have all been hurt by someone. We've all hit a point where we couldn't go on any longer. We could never go back. We all have been with someone terrible, someone who wasn't meant for us, no matter how bad we wanted them to be. The best part about being with that terrible person is how amazing it feels when someone so good comes around and makes you feel like you're perfect. To think that you were in love back before them, until they show you the meanings of love. And I read a page earlier that had actually stated something about that last little part and the time it takes. And I actually let my mom read the book first, so she went ahead and like underlined certain parts. But I think I'm gonna read a couple more. I don't know how many more, but I'm definitely gonna read this one. It was all a matter of time. Being alone took a lot of getting used to, after being so used to always being around someone, and that being alone takes time. Getting used to when all your head repeats our memories. There comes a time where you never think it's going to get easier because you put so much effort into someone else's happiness. Being alone meant no happiness. Most of the time, we rely on making people we love happy, and in the long run, it ends up a long time coming. Being alone wasn't just meant for people who didn't need someone to make them happy, ones who could smile without the need of another. But being alone is so much more than the wanting of someone. It's the scar that's where we'd be alone forever. That maybe we'd get used to being alone we'd never know how to feel when someone comes around. Putting your happiness in someone else, you're bound to hurt. Only because happiness isn't always promised. It's a temporary emotion. I do anything to make someone happy, but that's just my heart. When that happens, I fall into this place where happiness takes over me, where happiness isn't within myself, but from the other person. This person ruined me and my peace within myself, because I was once almost broken, and I healed myself in time. I had no fear in the world I'd fall in love, or I'd fall again, but I did. And I'm trying so hard to get back on my feet. So many would say I'm too emotional or too soft. I'd say both, but neither compares to the fear of losing myself. I don't care if I lose in the situation as long as I don't lose myself to the situation. At a point in my life where I was so happy, nothing could get the best of me. Being sad never just came randomly. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to find myself looking for answers to something that never happened. You can't miss what you've never had. You can't find happiness in something that wasn't meant to last. So many people look for reasons to stay rather than reasons to go. I might have done both. I never wanted to be in competition or even try to win you over. I wanted your heart, but more importantly, I wanted you to be happy, even if it wasn't with me. Can't you see all along it wasn't ever anything to worry about? I told you happiness never stays. You told me not to worry, but I've learned that expecting the worst will only put you ahead. See where we are now. If I was not using my head, I probably would have been broken, because this heart of mine never seems to understand what it's like at the end. I gave you what you called for, and that's all that matters, because I've got myself caught up in something that never was felt. Believe me, I tried. I believed something in this was real, but now I finally know the deal. The happiness of being alone is so real. I always wondered what it was like to love someone, but never how it felt loved. I'd never admit my past will always be a part of me. It taught me so much. I'll always carry the weight of my heart on my heart of all the times I was ignored, unappreciated, and left torn apart. I can't begin to understand why I made myself put up with someone so cold while I had the heart of gold. I never understood why I would let my guard down when they wouldn't pick up. Apology after every I'm sorry, I was let up. Why I never let go and I always gave in. To me, I always believed they were a beautiful soul with beautiful words, but instead ended up just another fool who spoke words that will never mean anything. A message to an old flame. I loved you very much. I'm not sorry about that. Back then, when it was over and done, I'd say I was. But now I thank you. I thank you very much for showing me what love wasn't, for showing me what it's like to deal with someone who never made my heart skip a beat, but only made it stop beating for you. I look back then and I see the girl I was, vulnerable, kind-hearted, terrified of heartbreak, and incomplete lust with you. It wasn't until now I realized I never really loved you, because looking back, there was never anything to love about you but the idea. I was in love with you, loving you. I was in love with the thought of giving my all to you, hoping that would make you love me back. I was attached to the thought of loving you. I forgot to love you. I see the signs now. The signs I should have ran when I had the chance. The times I always gave in when I should have left. I put my heart out there to get destroyed every single time, and you always chose to destroy. I was so blinded that I wasn't thinking about whether the love was fully conditioned by making sure I had love. My heart was confused. My heart never understood why I kept letting someone like you in. But I know now. I know why I had to open my heart to you. I know why I needed to give you a piece of me I'll never receive back. Because you know why? It's a piece I won't ever need back. I don't need the pain of getting hurt after putting my heart on the line for you. I don't need that piece of me back. You may savor that piece with you wherever you go. Remember me for everything I was to you. The love I gave you, the comfort I showed, the trust I had broken every time. I want you to remember me for everything I was, because you will never know who I am today. I suffered for so long trying to end my road with you. It was a blessing finally being able to let you go. You would always come back, months, years. I would be a fool. But I will always remember that day I gave you my final goodbye. To this day, I always wonder how you felt at that moment. But as I'm writing this, I realized I don't care. I don't care how I made you feel, because you never cared to wonder how I felt when you chose you every time over me. And maybe that's it. You chose yourself when I should have chosen myself every time. Maybe that makes me angry. Maybe it's anger I hold inside of me towards you because I couldn't love me enough to see right through you. And that one hits really hard, considering a couple weeks ago I had actually emailed him and did a final goodbye after a month and changing my number and all of that. So I guess that one hits pretty hard. I think I'm gonna read a little bit more. But I'm probably not gonna read the whole book on here, but I would highly recommend getting it yourself. But anyways, quick write. You can love in silence. You can love with words and, most importantly, actions. When you love something, you're going to want everyone to know. You might post about it. People might want to know the things you love, which everyone wants to know. But when you can tell someone loves something or someone without having them tell you, that's something powerful. Then there are those people who constantly post and repeat how much they love something. When you love something that much, you shouldn't have to say it with like a broken record. It sounds more convincing, like you're trying to convince yourself instead of convincing everyone else. I actually heard that somewhere else as well, and I can't remember where. But I did read about that once, and I was like, kind of. What you think life is and what I think are totally different. Just listen. We've been through it for a while. We've been through it too much. It's like I stop and look back and realize I'm doing too much. I ask myself, how could I let this get the best of me? Someone who could just take the time and let it pass. I never thought of being in love at such a young age, but I always wanted to experience the young love romance. I guess you can call it that. We're both sorts of young, and both have mature brains. If only I could see what you see through your eyes, I'd understand me. And maybe if you saw from my view, you'd feel somewhat of how I do. I always wanted someone to love that point I needed it. I thought that was the only thing you live for, because what do you truly live for? People die so young. People die before they even begin their life. If I die, I'd be happy with what I now cherish, you know? Than to die and never had a chance to experience it. I'm taking every chance I get, something I never know if I'm going to get again. Like, would you rather have many wrongs by trying to get where you belong, or do the right things that lead you nowhere? You learn by doing. If you had one chance, would you take it? If you had to give up one thing for another, would you give up on it? But most importantly, if you could live your life changing past mistakes, would you? Because as much as I would like to, I wouldn't. The past is the past. That's why there's a future, right? We make mistakes to learn to be able to move on to the next part of life. I've never regretted anything in my life until I don't do some things I wish I would have. The regrets I have are the things I didn't do when I had the chance to. The things I wish I did, the things I wish I would have said. I always think before I speak. So that's why I regret half of what I do, or half of what I don't do, because of my head always telling me not to. I would love to stand in front of everyone I know to tell them everything they hear about me may be right or as fake as the person they hear it from. Half the stuff I hear are lies. People always talk and never speak truth. I don't even know why I deal with people's drama, but once it gets to you, you just must. You're hated on. Your so-called friends talk talk about you, but none of it was true. Because your friend was jealous of you. You're hated on for no reason on so many levels because the friend you thought you had were someone true ended up someone you knew. They became strangers and now a hater. So, for the people who go around talking about me, saying they know things about me, I'm glad you do. If I'm what motivates you, that looks bad on you. But so be it. For the people who stay on me about my life, my situations, the way I feel about my decisions, then leave them be. Who are you to judge me? You have a life. You have decisions to make. You have mistakes to make. I know people have their opinions about me, but they will not go around thinking they live their life for me. I have reasons to say what I say, and people do too. Just make sure the next time you speak about me, it's true. Now, trust. To me, it's the biggest part of a relationship. You must have it. You can't have a relationship without it or a friendship. I swear these days you can't find anybody to trust, anybody to listen to that's why half of the time I am my own best friend. That's why I write, not just because God gave me that gift, but He also knows I'm alone. Writing helps me when there's no one there to listen to me. I had my fair share of trust issues, but I think I finally found my few. I can say they've been there when I needed them the most. They always bring me up when I'm feeling down. If I didn't have them, I don't know where I'd be. Yes, they're my family. They will always come first. Another thing is I will never make the same mistakes I saw people do, heard people do, or some people went through. I learned so much about things that sometimes you understand not even something you should do. I don't have a perfect life, but I can tell you everything I do is worth it. I live my life every day with these mistakes, and I look back to the past and say, wow, look who I am today. So much time I got on my hands. I'm a senior in high school, and it's not even as cool as it sounds. Just trying to make good grades and be out. Maybe do a college to get a degree, be a writer, and have something good for me, a husband, and someday a family. I just want to be something to someone and for myself. I want to live my life so that it's worth it, because again, not so many can. I know that I might now be with the one I love now, or the ones I had a thing for in the past. Whatever's meant for me will happen. There are some things I can't change, some things I regret never doing, some things I wish I could take back. When I think about it, life's never what you ask for. It's what you make of it. Always show your heart openly. You may get hurt no matter what you choose. You can say you gave your all in the end. That's what it always comes down to. Okay, well, I think that is all I'm going to do tonight, or as of right now. I think I will read a little bit more, because flipping through A Touch, I think that there's some more parts I'd like to share. Just because I do feel a lot of what I've read so far, and I know towards the beginning I did miss a few pages as far as reading, but yeah, I think that's all for tonight. I think I'm gonna put this down myself because I've already had enough tears, but I definitely will be sharing a little bit more parts of this. And like I said, whoever sees this, wherever you are, please, if you're going through some of the things that I've read, or a heartbreak or anything like that, because I know that that's a big part of this book, please, please, please read this book, because I think it's going to help me a lot. And like I said, my mom wrote some notes throughout this book for me and underlined some things. So like I said, she did get to read it first. Took her 2 days. I think she said it was like 200 pages. So it shouldn't take me overly long, but that also depends because I got some stuff going on this weekend, and I have to work in a few hours, so I really should probably be getting to bed as well. And I have to make up some time that I missed earlier this week. But anyways, just more things that she wrote and everything like that. So yeah, I highly recommend this book, and I think my mom does too. So yeah, I think I am done for the night, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.